is Noreen from Joy Cards, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Yay! For more of my Stampin' Up! Card videos, hit that subscribe button, and then there's a little bell, and you'll be notified when one of my videos pop up. Anyway, today's video is putting together the Love Santa Tag Kit. Now, I just did a video and I showed that there are 3 of these kits that are just not in the catalog. I don't know why, but they're not. But there are pages in the catalog that kind of allude to the card kits, and they're in the front. And it's in the annual catalog and the mini catalog. And it just talks briefly about the kits. And this is one of them. And the kits are literally all-inclusive. You don't need anything. There is a block in here for your stamp. There is ink. There is everything you need to make this. So if you are new to card making and you have like no supplies, like I don't have a die cutter, I don't have a cutter, I don't have ink pads, I don't have anything, you don't need it. So these are great, and they're great for kids too, because I mean, they're kind of foolproof. So anyway, so I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you the 4 cards here. And all of these instructions are really simple to follow. And if you look at the back, they'll tell you what the coordinating colors are. So if you are a Stampin' Up! Kind of person or a demonstrator, hey, these aren't in the catalog. Look on your website, or if you want to just go to the Stampin' Up! Site, well, you can go to my Stampin' Up! Site. It's Noreen Brungart. I know, so I'll put it in the description of my video, noreenbrungart.stampinup.net. Or you can go to joyofcards.com, which is my website, and you can click on this video. All my info is there. So I'm going to put these together for you. But anyway, on the back, it has all the coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors. This is why I love Stampin' Up! Because everything matches. The dies, the stamps, the cardstock, the ink, the markers, everything matches. There's no like this crazy like eclectic accumulation of craft stuff that, you know, you might not know how it matches up because the sizes are wrong or whatever. So here's the coordinating colors. So I'm going to put these together and then maybe somehow come up with some alternatives, just like a paper pumpkin kit. But unlike paper pumpkin, these kits, you can just buy ones at a time. And this particular one, Love Santa Kit, it is part number, and I had to actually look at this because it's not in the catalog. It's 158375. If you go to the detail of my video, like just click next to the description and all my information comes up. All YouTube videos have this. And you click on that link, it goes directly to my Stampin' Up! Site, and you can order these. Now's the time to order because even though it's September, people are going to start thinking Christmas like right away, and these will sell out. I totally predict they will. So I'm going to go ahead and put these together, and I'll be right back. I'm back. So I've made their cards, and let me give you some tips. First of all, there is a to and a from stamp on here for the back of them. Before you start your cards, do this first, because you don't want to do it after like I did, because there's things that are dimensional. And like one of these, I would have put the to and a from a little lower. I think it actually was here. I would have maybe put it there instead. But do your stamping to and from first. The other thing I want to suggest is, if you are brand new, this block will work fine and you'll be okay. Now, if you are already a Stampin' Up! Person, what you might want to think about doing is using your regular blocks. Because the thing about the Stampin' Up! Blocks, these are just a big square one, which is fine. But these actually have grips on them. They're thicker. They're easier to stamp. If you're new to Stampin' Up!, you can go ahead and email me and get a catalog, and I'll point out the things like for a basic set of Stampin' Up! Stuff, because this is really for a beginner. Or, you know, if you just want to make a bunch of really cute tags right away and you're already a Stampin' Up! Person, these are great. But I would use the regular blocks. Like I use the A, B, C, and I think the D one here. And actually this one here as well, the G, I use all the time because sentiments are great on those. But I would definitely use the Stampin' Up! Blocks. Also, I'm going to show you something here. If you just use the block, and since these are these clear stamps, they don't stamp as well when something is solid. So this is with the block, and this is with a Stamparatus. So if you don't know what a Stamparatus is, it's one of these. It looks like a Moxie, but this is a Stamparatus, so it's better, you know. Anyway, so it will stamp darker on a Stamparatus because you have more than one shot. There's no way you're going to be able to stamp this and then stamp it again and waste all that good luck on lining it up perfectly when you can go buy a lottery ticket and make some money, because it's not going to happen. So definitely use a Stamparatus. That's that one. Here's the Love Santa one. I don't know if it you know, if you could tell on a video, but the one with the Stamparatus is way better. And here's the Mary as well. Here, there in the E, it's not solid. The M's not, I mean, it's just better with a Stamparatus, so I would definitely use that. They also say to use 12 inches of the twine here, and I tried it with 12, and then I did 8. 8's a little short, and then I went to 10. I think 10 inches is fine. Now, they also give you more stamps than what's on the regular tag. So you've got this little berry for the holly here that's extra, a present, and Christmas also is on there. So I'm going to make some alternatives. Either I'll make tags or I might make cards. Also, they didn't use or you know what? I probably just didn't even notice on the instructions because I kind of raced through it. That, yeah, these little dots here mean you use the little rhinestones here. I just forgot to put them on. So there's lots of rhinestones, so you can go ahead and make something else. So I'm going to come up with a couple of alternatives. I think these kits aren't really made for that, like a paper pumpkin is, but I'm going to give it a shot. So I'll probably use them on card fronts, maybe embellish a tag or something, but I'm going to do some alternatives, and I'll be right back. I'm back. So I made 8 alternatives, and from very simple to maybe a little bit more. What I did on this one is I just stamped the branch here 3 times, and I used my Granny Apple Green. Now I used an uninked Stampin' Spot, and I just refilled it with the ink and just used my Stamparatus. Now, this is with a block, and this is with the Stamparatus, so you can tell the difference. And this is fine to have it stamped off like that. And then I put the special delivery in Poppy Parade, and then I put these really cute, the 21 to 23 in color opal rounds just as the bling. And of course, you stamp the to and the from on the back. So it's a real simple one. So this is alternative number 1. Here's alternative number 2. Now, it might look real similar to the one from the box, but it's different. First of all, I use the 21 to 23 opal rounds again as the embellishment instead of the ones they used. I didn't like the colors they used. But if you notice, it's got a shadow here. And what I did is I used my brother's scan and cut, and I scanned this, die cut, and then I offset it. And I offsetted it to 0.08. Now, in the description of my video, I will put a link. I have a very basic tutorial for the Brother Scan and Cut. If you are a card maker, it might be worth getting because it does exactly what it does. It scans and it cuts. And for this, that was great because I made this little offset shadow here. Plus, what you can also do is like when you get your designer series paper, when it has big elements, you can cut those out. But I'll put a link in the description of the video. Also, in the link for the description of the video is you click on it and you can buy this set directly from me through Stampin' Up. So go ahead and, if you like the kit, buy it from me. So that'd be great. So other than that, I of course use the Stamparatus for the tag here because using a block just isn't enough. Those clear stamps just don't do the best job. So you need to use your Stamparatus here. But anyway, this is alternative number 2. Here is alternative number 3. And what's cool about this is I did the same thing like I did with the other tag. I did that offset, but this one I snailed it to it. And I used the brushed metallic gold paper here, specialty paper. And on the back, I did the to and from. And then the tag trim, I used the Simply Elegant in the gold, because you can get gold and silver in these. And of course, the Mary, I did use the Stamparatus. And if you notice, I'm using my Stampin' Spots a lot for these projects because they're great for the Stamparatus, so you can ink up your stamp without inking the whole plate. Like if you used a big pad like this, you just get your plate dirty. When you use a Stampin' Spot, you don't. So they're also, everything that I've used on everything here will be in the description of my video. There will be a link for the uninked Stampin' Spots. Now this one I got from my paper pumpkin kits. That's another good reason to get a paper pumpkin, is that you get these free ones. But there are uninked ones, and you just use the refills, and they're great. So also I use mini dimensionals on the tag here, and I use Poppy Parade for both. Now the thin sentiments here, I use mini dimensionals to bump it up. Also, when they're thin like this, you don't have to use the Stamparatus. You can just use the block. It's when they're thick like this Mary is that you need to use your Stamparatus. So I did that. And then also, I used different bling for this one. I didn't use that. I used the red and green adhesive back pearls, but they come with red and like blue, silver, and gold. And I used the gold ones here because I used the brushed metallic, and I used this gold trim here, and I blinged it up. And then I etched the sides of it with the Poppy Parade, and I just used a sponge, and I just kind of did the edges so there's more of a difference between the gold and the paper itself. But anyway, this is alternative number 3. Here's alternative number 4, and I actually made a card. So what I did is I took that tag and I cut the top off of it here, and then I used Santa Express, and I've got it in my little folder here so I can keep all the little scraps and everything. The link to get these folders to keep your paper in is in the description of my video. You click on it, and I'm an Amazon affiliate, which means I'm all checked out. I'm safe to click on links. You're not going to get, all that identity theft and all that. But these are great folders. I use them all the time. I don't see how people don't use them. I mean, they must have a big pile of scraps somewhere that's totally out of order and becoming a monster. But anyway, I used one of the back of Santa Express here, and then Granny Apple Green is the base. It's just a 5.5 by 4.25. I bumped up Santa on dimensionals, and then I used the mini dimensionals here for the tags from the kit. And these tags here, of course, I used the Stamparatus for that Mary with just the Night of Navy that they gave you in the kit. And then the inside is Poppy Parade, Granny Apple Green, and white, and I stamped blue. Now, you might be asking why I'm using Poppy Parade, and it's because this right here is Poppy Parade. And if you look to the back of the instructions for the tags, you'll notice they are using Poppy Parade. And another thing I noticed, this was interesting. When I was looking for my coordinating colors, I noticed they're using Bumblebee and Just Jade. Those are retired colors. So just FYI. So instead of Bumblebee, I use Crushed Curry. Instead of Just Jade, I'm using Granny Apple Green. So anyway, but this is alternative number 4. Here is alternative 5. And what I did is I took Poppy Parade, because it's one of the colors on the back here. And you can see it in the Santa Express. They also use Poppy Parade. That's why this one really coordinates well with this kit, because it's not using red or cherry cobbler. It's using Poppy Parade. That's why this paper works really well with the tree. Also, I'm using soft suede with my Poppy Parade and the white here, and Granny Apple Green and Poppy Parade on this ink as well. And it's because soft suede is in the tree. So I went ahead and those are the papers I'm using. And then I took the stamp and I stamped these out, and I just fussy cut them because that's easy, and then just layered this up. So I thought this was really cute. So this is alternative number 5. Here's alternative 6. Now, it looks like this one, but it's not. This one is an A6 card. I will put the dimensions for all the cards in the description of the video, and you can get the dimensions for an A6 card. So what I did is I cut off the piece, the packages from the card, because I don't know, I didn't like the card even though it's my 8th card and I think it's the best one. Anyway, but I cut that off. I used that same Poppy Parade and the Santa Express here, which I've got in my little folder. And then I took my border dies. And I love these border dies because I wanted to make a tree skirt. So I made the tree skirt out of using a border die. I just cut the Poppy Parade in the width of the paper and then just made a little, you know, I cut one here and I cut one there and just made like a little tree skirt. And then I bumped these up on dimensionals. Now, when you cut the packages off the card, it's going to make this, it's not going to be straight across. So this is like angle or this curve. So I needed to cover that up anyway. So I went ahead and used the sentiment tags to cover that up. And the sentiment tags, I used Stylish Shapes and just made those tags, and then I used a little Poppy Parade piece from the kit. I also used those in color opal rounds again because it has that beautiful green on there. And then on the inside, it's pretty basic. And I'll have the dimensions for the inside as well in the description of my video. And don't forget, you can go in the description of the video and you can click on the link for Love Santa Tag Kit and buy one. Buy a couple. They're great. So anyway, and then I used my Stampin' Spots because I used the Mary, and that's that big thick lettering, so you have to use your Stamparatus. And I used these so that you don't get ink all over the place, and then Granny Apple Cream just for the other. So anyway, this is alternative number 6. Here's card number 7, way different from the other ones. And what I did is I used a cherry cobbler base, and then I used this new paper they have here. It's the glimmer paper. It comes like in an off-white, a green, and a gold. And I use that glitter paper. And then I also use Boughs of Holly because they have some really good backgrounds. So that's the green background here and the poinsettia background. And then I use Cherry Cobbler, and you have to use the Stamparatus with the Joy stamp. So what I did is I put it on here and I just moved it along as I went. So I knew if I had it here, or here, I started out here, I moved it over one square and over one square and then down, and of course, but use your Stamparatus to make this pattern so they're all even and they're all solid, because like I said, it's one of those stamps that's got so much ink there. These just don't stamp as well on a solid, so you have to use the Stamparatus. Sorry about that. And of course, use my Stampin' Spots because it keeps everything clean on my Stamparatus. Now, if you notice, I have my rectangle stitch frames out. Why do I have that? Because I really didn't use them from what you can see, but I actually did. What I did is that since this paper is a specialty paper, this gold, I didn't want to waste it, so I cut out the middle. So I used like the third largest square here, and I cut that big piece of gold glitter out, and I saved it because why waste it? It's behind something no one's ever going to know. And then also I took the Joy here and I bumped it up on these foam adhesive strips, and they just work better than a dimensional if you want something a little more solid. I think they're also taller, so those work really well. And my favorite, red rhinestone basic jewels, gotta have those. Those are the best thing. I just put those on the top because I did make this a kind of an odd size, which is fine. And then on the inside, I just use that same paper from Boughs of Holly, Cherry Cobbler, the white. I used the Stamparatus for that Mary because, I mean, you can even see I used a block for this gift, and it's not as solid as that. So that's why you do that. So anyway, here's card number 7. Here's my favorite, and which is funny because I don't like this particular die cut, but this turned out the best. Anyway, it's a Poppy Parade base, and I used Santa Express. Loved it, just really matched everything in this kit. So, and then I made it like a road, and I used that from my basic border dies again. So I made a road. The lines for the road are from the kit, the little tags. And then, of course, I bumped this up on Dimensionals and used their stuff here. And then on the inside, it is Evening Evergreen, basic grade, like the road, white and the package. So this is number 8. And here's all my cards together. If you like this kit, like I said, go to the detail of my video. Just click and everything pops up. All the materials I used, everything in my video, like my glass here. I'm an Amazon affiliate, so I'm safe to click on. You can also order from me direct. There's a Stampin' Up part of it where you can click on the kit and order the kit. So, or anything else you need, like the basic border dies or whatever. So anyway, that'll do it for me. Thanks. Bye.